Hey, what's up friends? You got Chipsy back here today, bringing you my first Wi-Fi match up on the channel for Gen 7. Pretty pumped to be getting back into the Wi-Fi matches. I used to crank them out back in the day on Sun and Moon and back on XY. I loved good old Wi-Fi matches. So yeah, we're back. My first Wi-Fi match up against Eric today. You guys may know him as Ashton Akai. He's a really cool dude, and he's a really nice guy. He's from the PPL. He's also from the TBU. And he has a YouTube channel, so I'll be leaving that in the link below. I'm sure you guys know him because most of my people who follow me are from the draft community, so no doubt you've heard of Eric, and he's a really solid player as well. So yeah, very excited to be playing up against him today. As you guys can see, Eric's got a pretty interesting team. You can see he's got the Mega Gyarados chilling in the front with a zone to trap steals. Chandelure is a pretty interesting mon. You don't really see that used too much, no, but it's definitely got its benefits. It's pretty nice for a Mosa check. I know I was talking to Eric about it, a few days ago, I think actually, and we were talking about the uses that Pheromosa or that Chandelure has in dealing with Pheromosa, which is pretty cool. It's also a nice revenger for a lot of the fat steals and psychics running around, so that's pretty nice. Then you've got he's got Kamala, so pretty nice rapid spinner, as well as momentum gainer with U-turn and wish passer. That's going to be his likely set. That's the best set kind of for Kamala at the moment, unless he's like some sort of bulk up or SD set. Then he's got Necrozma and Tapu Bulu, so yeah, definitely a lot of threats. Definitely thinking Necrozma is going to be his rocker. That's his only rocker on his team. Tapu Bulu could well be choice banned. Just thinking a team matchup like that looks to be his breaker. Weakening, opposing physical walls for potential Gyarados sweep. As I said, you've got Magnezone there to trap stuff like Celesteela and Skarmory, so yeah, definitely a really cool team. I know Eric built this one himself. Those are my thoughts going into the match. Now let's talk about the team that I brought today. So this is the team I made centered around Specs, Ash Greninja, combined with Ban Tapu Bulu, as well as Scarflalo. So basically the whole idea behind this is that when Ash Greninja gets a kill, you guys know about Specs Ash Greninja basically, I'm sure you guys have seen it around, but for those who don't, once this thing gets a kill, it evolves into, or changes form into Ash Greninja, and Specs Ash Greninja outspeeds stuff like Tapu Koko and can one-shot a ton with Hydro, Dark Pulse. Water Shuriken is really clutch in a lot of situations, can really bring the game back if you're facing like a boosted mon like Zardex or something like that. Or even like in this case, like a Scarf Chandelure, it could be really handy. Yeah, Ash Greninja is definitely a fun mon to use. Then we have Ban Bulu. I'm actually rocking a Jolly Nature this week. This set is originally planned for something else, which I'm not really going to talk about now, but I am Jolly Tapu Bulu, which is actually pretty nice because you don't have to rely on speed ties with opposing Adamant Band Bulu, as well as getting the outspeed on stuff like Adamant Gyarados, which is kind of running around. Although Jolly is probably better. Adamant Gyarados I've seen it running around. It's actually like a reasonable speed tier. It also gets the outspeed on a few other mons. Obviously Adamant is better for breaking power, but Jolly Band is still pretty strong, and that's what we've got this week. I don't actually have an Adamant Band one in my game. That's another reason. I don't have Pick Your Hex or anything like that. So yeah, Jolly's gonna have to do, but we'll see how that goes. Then we have Fizdef Necrozma, basically here to T-Wave threats, set up rocks. Psychic hits decently hard because this thing has like base 127 special attack, so a pretty solid mon. One of the best rockers pre-bank, so yeah, it's definitely a nice essential mon to have in the field. Throwing out Yellow Magic is pretty nice if something wants to try and set up in its face like Gyarados. Even getting the power off on Shandy could be clutch because Necrozma has filters, so basically you take 25% less from super effective hits, meaning I can live something like a Scarf Shadow Ball with ease, and also because I'm pretty bulky. So then we have Spadef Marowak, basically here to act as the Tapu Koko / Magnezone check. It's no Stunfisk, but it's alright. It's decent. It's a fun one to use. Then we have Celesteela, again, especially defensive to check a lot, really. It still checks Tapu Bulu fairly well. It takes on Tapu Lele quite nicely. This is like my Tapu Lele response, so obviously he has the Magnezone, so I'm going to have to be careful to play that. not too boldly, otherwise I will end up getting trapped and I will lose my best kind of answer to his Tapu Bulu. So even though I'm Super F, it still tanks Tapu Bulu's hits relatively well, depending on its set. And lastly, we have Scarf Tapu Lele. So Tapu Lele basically Scarf shreds offense. I've got Banned Bulu to break, like Fat Balance or even like Stall if you were to bring that, but you know, it's Wi-Fi, no one really fucks with Stall. But anyway, that is the team. I'm gonna jump into it. Looking at matchup, I really felt as though leading off with Greninja was you know, kind of risk-free. Like if he led Necrozma, I could either threaten him out with a Dark Pulse or U-turn into my Necrozma and get up rocks for myself. He does have a spinner, but getting up that 25% damage off on Gyarados and the Chandelure is really nice. If you did want to lead off with something like Chandelure to counter my own Necrozma Stealth Rock lead, that would have been a bit of a pain. So I did feel as though Greninja was definitely the play to make leading off with, because I could definitely threaten Chandelure out, and I've actually got U-turn on this guy, so I can definitely grab momentum if he does want to lead off with that, and I catch him in an unfavorable matchup. So we're going to jump into it. Obviously getting a nice specs hit off with Greninja will be pretty clutch too if he does decide to lead off with something like Chandelure and stay in, for example. So see, Eric throws me the challenge, and yeah, definitely looking forward to getting into Gen 7 Wi-Fi matches, because it is something I am hoping to bring to the channel if I can get friends to record, because I don't actually have a capture card. So, but yeah, a lot of my good friends around have offered, so that's pretty cool. So he leads off with the Gyarados, and I'm just going to go for the U-turn here. Now, the reason I go for U-turn is even if he wants to set up in my face, I do have Banned Bulu in the back, which doesn't fear Gyarados whatsoever. So U-turn was a relatively safe play here. Like, it wasn't in his interest to stay in. So I'm going to capitalize on this by going for the U-turn, and he goes into his Kamala. I get a crit on the U-turn, which sucks. You guys are going to see it's not really going to matter that much though in the match, and you'll see why. I bring in Bambulu, and I'm just going to click Woodhammer because I lose nothing by it. If he wants to go into his own, he's going to take over 50%. It's a Twig KO on his own. He can go out to his Chandelure here. That's probably his, I wouldn't say it's his most expendable mon, but maybe Kamala would be his most expendable mon. But he does choose to just go out to his Chandelure here, and perhaps thinking he could live, you know, he hadn't determined if I was banned yet, so maybe he thought he could live the hit and then threaten me out the next turn, but I'm just going to go for that banded Woodhammer. And we're going to clean take out this Chandelure. So you're seeing, like, the fact that I'm Jolly isn't even mattering in this situation. And he doesn't know that I'm Jolly yet. Like, that damage reveals that I am banned, but as far as he's aware, I may be Adamant, as Adamant ban does make sense on most Tapu Bulu sets. So he's going to bring his own Tapu Bulu here, and I know that whilst I could 2KO him here, and I will get the outspeed because I don't think he's going to be Jolly, I don't want to risk a crit or something, as Tapu Bulu is such an important mon on this team. And it is my one of my keys to victory. So I'm going to go into my Celesteela here just to scout what he wants to go for. He goes for Stone Edge. That does reveal to be banded damage, so I'm not going to stay in here risking potentially getting trapped by his Magnezone. And also I know that my my Necrozma can easily tank those unstabbed Stone Edges. Obviously one of the big drawing cards to Tapu Bulu's strength is the fact that its stab gets boosted by the grassy terrain. So unstabbed, even banded Stone Edges is only going to be doing like 30. I think the highest roll was like 30, high 30s to my defensive Necrozma. So yeah, really not fearing anything that banded Choice Lock Bulu has to throw at me. So he goes to the Flash Cannon here, and it does a ton, revealing that he's indeed modest Magnezone. Does a lot of damage, but I am getting quite a nice amount of healing back with the grassy terrain up my own leftovers. As he's going to decide to switch out right this turn and go into his Drop Bear, which is his little Kamala. And this guy's a really cool one. I'm really looking forward to playing around with this guy. I know he's got a lot of potential, even though he does seem not that powerful and quite frail, but it is pretty bulky on the special side. Tanks that Psychic reasonably well, I guess, as he's going to get his lefties back, and he could very well Rapid Spin here, but I'm pretty happy with just staying in and wearing him down with Psychic. Like, I'm fine in this exchange. He can get U-turn momentum as he goes to the Wish here. The reason I heal up is because I do want to keep this guy at a reasonable amount of health, just in case I do need to switch into Tapu Bulu without going right into my Celesteela. It is also, I basically need to keep this healthy now that my Celesteela is weakened to that extent, because once I get the Tapu Bulu down below half, or around 60% mark, I can just knock him out with my own Tapu Bulu's Wood Hammer. I don't have to fear, taking one in return. So he's going to go for the rapid spin here as my Tapu Bulu comes in, and I can essentially heal up as he can go out into his own. I'm going to go for the Horn Leech here. I believe I go for Horn Leech this turn, as he's going to go for the Protector just to scout, knowing that I am choice locked. So very good play on his part, on Eric's part, just wanting to determine what move I was going to lock myself into. That's fine. I'm actually healing up, which is really nice, because whilst Woodhammer would have essentially got a kill on anything that came in, Lodestone, his Magnezone, wouldn't have been too KO'd. I think Woodhammer does around... No, it would have been too... I think it... Not with grassy terrain, I don't think. I think it calculated during the match. And I also wanted to keep, my Tapu Bulu from taking too much recoil, if at all possible. And, getting that damage, that Horn Leech damage off on the Magnezone confirms that next time he comes in, he's going to die to two Woodhammers, even if he does get the next round of grassy terrain health back. So I knew my Marowak was a pretty safe switch in here. I did expect him to be running HP Ground, because we were talking about it a few days earlier, the merit of running HP Ground on Magnezone to at least dent Sped F Marowaks that want to switch in, thinking it's a completely safe switch each time. But I know that he knows that his hidden power ground can't kill me from here, and him preserving Magnezone is essential, because Magnezone traps my Celesteela. It switches in reasonably well to, kind of well to my Tapu Bulu. So I'm going to switch out here, go into my Brainiac, go into my Celesteela on his double to Gyarados. And right here I'm going to fire for T-Wave. Reason being, even if he Dragon Dances up, again, I have Tapu Bulu in the back. I know I can tank a Crunch, even though he is Mold Breaker, so he will ignore my filter ability. I am physically defensive, so I am not going to be OHKO'd at all, even with a crit by this Gyarados. You guys are going to see Crunch does around 50%. My Necrozma tanks that quite nicely, and I can just get the T-Wave off. Now, here, his play would either be to Dragon Dance or Crunch again. I'm fine with just scouting what he wants to go for and just healing up here, because, as I said, I need to keep I need to keep this mon as healthy as possible, because this is one of my ways of putting his own Tapu Bulu in range of my Tapu Bulu. If I can get him to take Woodhammer recoil off on this Necrozma, then I'll be looking in a good situation to bring it home with my own Tapu Bulu. So he brings in his own Necrozma here, as he's going to set up his rocks, which is a good play on his part. Wanting to wear down my switch-ins. My Marowak is not going to appreciate that every time it wants to switch in. I'm just going to go up my own rocks here, because, again, I want to do the same, putting everything in range of Tapu Bulu. He's going to withdraw here and go right out into his Kamala. As this turn, I believe I go for the T-Wave, which Kamala will be immune to. Yeah, I do. So I just go for the T-Wave there, trying to catch his Necrozma staying in. But he makes the good play, goes out to his Kamala, and that's fine, because whilst he can rapid spin, again, I'm pretty safe to just go for the Stealth Rocks again if he did want to play that game. But he actually decides to U-turn. He predicted me to switch out. I'm perhaps going into my Marowak to kind of block the rapid spin. The fact that he's shown U-turn reveals that he's not Earthquake, so Marowak is pretty safe to come in on that Kamala and block the spin without fearing, Earthquake retaliation. So he's going to go out to his Tapu Bulu here and receive the grassy terrain health back. This is looking pretty hairy, because obviously something's going to take a ton of damage from this Woodhammer. I know my Necrozma is kind of, not useless, but I'm pretty happy with sacking it off here to the Woodhammer, because I know that the Tapu Bulu is going to take a ton of recoil in return, which means that he will actually be in range to go down to a Woodhammer from my own Tapu Bulu as I do outspeed. I've calculated the damage. He's certainly adamant, so I don't have to worry about any speed ties here. I am just going to go for the Psychic Surge here and fire off the Moonblast, I believe. Reason I go into my Tapu Lele here is because the Magnezone will get chipped down and I won't be receiving any health back from the grassy terrain, which is pretty important, because I need to get this thing at just a little bit lower to guarantee that it does die to my own Tapu Bulu's Woodhammer. So it's a battle of the Tapu Bulus at the moment. It's a bit of a stalemate. I'm just trying to weaken down his checks. I go into my mag zone, my Marowak here, to kind of sack it off. I did contemplate, I'll just pause it here, I did really want to go into my Tapu Bulu this turn. I'm predicting, like I did definitely think about it, but then then I thought long term, and there's obviously no reason in sacking my Wincon. Marowak, Marowak was definitely the predictable switch here, coming in to tank the Flash Cannon, and he could have well, gone for the HP ground, or HP ground here, predicting my Marowak to come in, and I was thinking, I might be able to capitalize on that with bringing my Tapu Bulu in, but yeah, word of advice, don't make those sort of plays, like there's no reason to. He actually goes to the Flash Cannon here, predicting me to stay in or go out to my own Tapu Bulu. There was absolutely no reason for me to make that kind of try-hard play when I could just sack off Marowak and bring in something like my Tapu Bulu to take down this Magna Zone. So he's going to reveal the HP ground here and take out my Marowak. He outspeeds me because Marowak's pretty slow, and I am a defensive set, so I'm not actually invested in speed. So Tapu Bulu can now come in and click Woodhammer, because something's going to die. Something's going to die or get to a go, as the Magna Zone's at a range where Band Woodhammer will definitely take him out. So he's going to switch out now. I go into Esma his Necrozma, and I'm going to hit him up with the Woodhammer. Now you guys saw that his own Tapu Bulu actually took out my Necrozma at that range of health with an Adamant Band Woodhammer, and my own Woodhammer doesn't actually take the Necrozma out here, which is actually, it's good and bad. It's good in the sense that it gives me an extra round of grassy terrain recovery. Bad in the sense that it does now tell him that I am 100%. Well, if he calced, he would know that I'm definitely not Adamant, because Adamant 100% kills at that range of health after rocks. But even if he does determine that I am Jolly, there's not really much he can do, because this Tapu Bulu outspeeds the Magna Zone. It outspeeds his own Tapu Bulu, and after rocks here, he was in range before rocks, but this just seals the fact that Tapu Bulu is going to take him out with the outspeed. So like I said, wasn't a speed tie there. His Tapu Bulu was confirmed Adamant, so yeah, Jolly really came through this match. Definitely. Obviously I had Scarf, Tapu Lele in the back, which the combined pressure of Tapu Lele and Tapu Bulu was going to take this Magna Zone down. I had Celesteela to sack if I needed to get a safe switch into either, so that was pretty clutch. But Woodhammer's just going to take him out here, as now he has Gyarados in the back, Mega Gyarados. I was concerned he may actually bait me to go for Woodhammer and switch out into Mega Gyarados, hoping I'd take all that recoil damage. This turn actually, when he goes into drop air, not that this one, but at this point Tapu Lele won anyway, so I just stay and click Woodhammer, even if he did want to make that play and get me to die to all the recoil from Gyarados. If I could have died, that is, Tapu Lele still cleaned up regardless, so definitely a fun match versus Eric. I was a lot closer than the final score suggested. There was a lot of mind games in this game, and we both really enjoyed it. Tapu Bulu is a monster. Even obviously with the grassy terrain gone, Woodhammer is still going to take out this Mega Gyarados, because this thing's rocking the base 130 attack. So yeah, it's a strong mon, and it's a choice band. So yeah, Gyarados is going to go down here, and I believe we're going to secure the 3-0 versus Eric. So definitely a fun match. As I said, yeah, looking forward to the next time we face. I know we have a pretty similar play style, so we're both pretty stoked with the match afterwards, and no doubt we'll have another one up on the channel sometime soon. So hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to go and check out Eric's side of the channel, side of the battle, I should say. I know he's going to be uploading it, and I will be leaving his link in the description below. So always interesting to hear another person's perspective. So go and check it out. And if you aren't already subscribed to him, go and subscribe, because he makes some great league content, as well as some other things, I do believe. And I have been watching him for a while now, so definitely go and check him out. I recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the match and you would like to see more Wi-Fi battles up on the channel, or you guys want to see me use certain things, certain, it'll be, obviously we'll have more choice when Pokemon comes out next year. I'll be able to use my boy Fisk, and you best believe Fisk will be making his appearance. But yeah, if you guys want to see me use certain things, or you want to see more, let me know in the comments, and yeah, drop a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.